In this video, the Executive Director of People with Disabilities WA speaks from her office about the role of the organisation.
Hi, my name is Samantha Jenkinson. I'm the Executive Director at People with Disabilities WA. We're an organisation with a very long and proud history of being run by and for people with disabilities. So we have 100% of our Committee of Management are people with disabilities, including all different types of disabilities. And a majority of our staff are also people with disabilities or people who have lived experience of disability, so family members of people with disability. We do advocacy, individual advocacy, as well as systemic advocacy. Sometimes people don't really know what that means, so I thought I'd just quickly let you know what it is that we do. Individual advocacy is where we stand beside a person with a disability and support them to have their voice heard. So we will often get people who contact us because maybe they're at risk of being evicted from their home, or they're having trouble trying to get the disability support pension, and even when they talk to Centrelink, they're not being heard. So people can then contact us and we can help them try and navigate through that complex system and also try and make sure that their voice is heard and give people the skills as well so that next time hopefully they can advocate for themselves. Our systemic advocacy is when we're representing people with disability and all types of disability in government systems, and where we see that there's an issue where lots of different people with disabilities are being affected. So a really good example of what we're doing at the moment is in transport. We often have conversations with the Department of Transport about multi-purpose taxis, the taxi users subsidy scheme. We also talk about accessible buses and trains, and not just access in terms of physical access, but also things like the signage, how easy things might be to use for people with an intellectual disability, also for people who are vision impaired, what that means like in terms of having good access. Another example of our systemic advocacy would be when we're looking at the potential abuse and neglect of people with disabilities. So where people have been abused or assaulted or treated in really bad ways by their service provider. And we're trying to work with lots of different government departments, including the Department of Education, the Department Disability Services Commission and the Department of Health, as well as the police, about how we can improve service quality and also how we can ensure that people with disabilities aren't at high risk of being abused or neglected in those spaces. So it's really important work. We're a membership-based organisation, so to be a full member, you need to be a person with a disability, but we also have associate membership for family members, friends, and people who just think it's important what we do. And we'd love to have you all involved and having a say in what's going to happen for our organisation into the future.
If you would like to become a member of People with Disabilities WA or would like any further information, please go to our website www.PWdWA.org. People with Disabilities WA can also be contacted by telephone on 0894 85 8900. For country callers on 1800 193 331, through our Facebook page at www.facebook.com/People with Disability WA, or on Twitter at PWdWA4. Maggie, Kathy, Neil and Chris from LeadAbility 2016 would like to thank People with Disabilities WA, members of People with Disabilities WA, Leadership WA and Community Vision for their support in creating this video.